Hello and welcome everyone back. It's been a long off season. It's been too long. Almost. Oh my goodness. I can't look at that. I gotta look at this.
That's not good.
That's not good at all. Oh gosh, that was terrible. I'm really excited to be here. Welcome back to the season 3 of the Pretenders Pod. My name is Forbes. I'm gonna be your host today. And who am I joined by?
Your boy Opsid, formerly of Ultrawave, currently team manager for Skyhounds.
All right, there you go. You couldn't have asked for a better introduction than that. Sid, welcome to the show. How you been? How you been spending your off season?
Doing a lot of studying because right now we're in midterms.
Yeah, of course.
So, doing that.
Okay, all right. Doing a lot of studying, managing a team, right? That's no easy feat. How do you think Skyhounds, or not Skyhounds? You're part of that too. How do you think Suya Academy is gearing up for the off season? I mean, it's not just you at this point. Now you got a bunch of pups to take care of, yeah?
Well, I think there's gonna be a lot of creative compositions coming out of Suya Academy this coming season.
Mm-hmm.
Goats is not as dominant as it was. It's gonna be a lot more map dependent, but we'll get into that in a sec.
All right, and we'll definitely get that for a sec. For the time being, we got a lot of things coming in store for you today. Of course, there's going to be a news roundup. Fix that echo, by the way. Thanks for letting me know, chat. It's always Rusty the first episode, right? It's almost like a tradition at this point. We're going to be talking about some cool workshop codes we found, talking about meta comps, the map pool for Season 4, as well as a roster review. We're going to be taking a deep dive into the roster of every single team, sharing our predictions for Week 1, sharing that Week 1 schedule, and of course, rounding it out with some confessions from the confession box, right? That's something that was kind of like an impromptu sort of hack together thing at the very last moment. If you go over in announcements in Overwatch Pretenders, you'll check out the confession box, and you can post anything you want in there. And if it doesn't have like racial slurs with it, we'll probably read it on stream. Except for that one guy who posted the entire Communist Manifesto. Like, don't do that. I should have put a character limit on that. That's for sure.
Also, we're not going to be reading out the question that I asked everybody. I'm pretty sure all of you know what I'm talking about.
Which one would that be, Sid? Do you wanna explain?
Well, the question that I asked everybody, just getting the kind of like the pulse of the community, seeing
the pulse of the community, or a pat on the
back.
Yeah,
yeah, the pulse of the community, because I wanted to know at the end of the season what the impact of Ultrawave was as in the community.
You guys were one of the most talked about teams throughout the season, but I mean, I feel like
that was more just me chest beating a little bit. You know me. At this point, the people who are vested into the community, or more prevalent in the community, know who I am and know what my antics are.
I feel like if that weren't the case, you wouldn't be on here today. And I mean, the NYXL, right? I mean, the reason they're such a hype team is because they got the personality to back it up. But enough about that. Let's get into it. Lots of stuff happened during the off season, and we're going to start off by talking about the finals. Alpine Wolves versus Night Ops, right? Now, I feel like Alpine Wolves, right before going into playoffs, they did lose their second to last game to the Mercury Cougars, right? And a lot of people saw that sort of as the beginning of the end, but I definitely saw that as a bit more of like a slump in their usual performance. But then that finals happened, and I think a lot of people were like, okay, what's going on? This isn't the Alpine Wolves we've been really characteristic of seeing. What were your thoughts going into that match?
Well, I do have some more insight on that, but I'm not sure if it's appropriate to be putting that out publicly, just because a lot of it is a very personal of a personal nature. But I can say that the lack of a coach and some internal struggle definitely contributed to their performance the last few games that they had in the season. So it's difficult not to name names. I won't do that because it's not really appropriate. But it's safe to say that like they weren't necessarily performing to the best that they could. Just because, not because Night Ops wasn't playing well, because I mean,
Of
if
course,
you watch the game,
they were playing amazingly.
Night Ops put on a masterclass. Well, not a masterclass, but like, you know, as far as our league is, you know, the best that, you know, that style of play can be played. You know,
and that's the closest you're gonna get of a compliment from Sid. So like, really revel in that, right? You got to stamp approval right now. Night Ops.
Let's not, you know, perpetuate this myth that I don't give compliments. Everybody that has my respect knows, when I give compliments, it's real and it's deserved.
Okay, all right. You know what? I'm not gonna brood too much on the topic. But regardless, the finals was amazing. Be sure to check it out on the YouTube page, and also, we also had some All-Star games to talk about. You know, you were in them. You know, fortunately, on the team who won, joined by Rice, Elodian, Ronan, Hongxi, and Toop, one of which you were going to be interviewing later today. Tell me about that experience. How was that? Like, what was it like working with what people thought were the best of the best of Overwatch? Pretenders. There we go.
I'll just put it. Let's get a little spicy today.
Oof.
Toop was a giant thrower.
Toop
was a giant thrower. But we had a lot of fun in that game.
Good.
We had a lot of fun. It wasn't streamed. It wasn't streamed. We had a gentleman's agreement of not running goats.
Okay.
And surprise, surprise, Ultrawave was more than just a goats team.
Yeah.
I mean, essentially we were. I mean, our whole mentality going into the season was like, let's get really good at this one comp and make people beat us at this comp.
And as someone who actually unfortunately wasn't able to see that game, could you tell me what that comp was?
It was a lot of dive. The game actually started with a little bit of a Torb 1v1.
Oh,
versus Elodian and Moose. Or went against each other as Torb.
Right. Inspired by the low game inspired by the minor division, the academy division All-Star game. Is that right?
Well, we just thought of it. If it was done before, then shows that we're not that original. But a funny thing actually happened. I don't know. I guess it wasn't like a coincidence or anything, but it was a planned ambush. As soon as us as a team decided that if Elodian pops his armor as Torb first, that we dive the other team.
Oh my god!
That's exactly what happened. As soon as Elodian dropped to like 10% health, we just jumped the entire back line of the other team.
You guys had a gentleman's agreement, and you went in with an ambush with a knife behind your back. I mean, I don't know.
I mean, we ran dive, but we didn't run 3-3 at all.
Okay, all right. Well, regardless, I don't imagine you could beat a team going 3-3 against the other All-Star game team, Majestic Moose, Woodamain, Pig Dog, Jaharo, Cypher, Silver Sacks, all of whom are like known to be really, really. I don't want to use the word masterclass again because you just used it, but I really can't think of a better word rather than like the defining almost people in this server for that role, right? On 3-3. So I can definitely see why they definitely give you a run for your money, and congratulations on winning.
Definitely. That backline.
Do you have a dagger?
No, this is a long claw, bro. Game of Thrones is tonight, guys. The biggest battle in history. I'm sorry to cross promote, but
yeah.
Game of Thrones, the longest episode is coming tonight. All right, an hour and 28 minutes long of battle at Winterfell. We're gonna see some White Walkers go down.
All right, anyways, that brought to you by HBO.
No, don't say
free
that.
Trial by 1 month. Oh, fuck. No, you're right.
But going back to the game, I think speaking to that support line that the other team had, Silver Sacks and Cypher. I mean, those two are legitimately I see them. I respect them the most as far as in my role,
right,
as flex support. They gave me quite a bit of pause in terms of anticipating the game. I mean, we all had fun and it was a good game. It was a stomp because we're the best.
Sure.
But,
yep.
I don't want to say that. I don't want to sit here and lie and say that I wasn't worried because I was.
Right. And from the other side of the All-Star Game River, we're going to have one person from that team, sort of on here as well. We're going to talk with Jaharo a little later about what he's been doing during the offseason and, why he thinks Suya is going to be the best team, hands down, in Overwatch Pretenders. That was one of the confessions coming in. And they're like, from a spectator perspective, not a non-biased opinion, Suya is going to be the best team. And another team said that 05 Heads is going to be the dark horse of this of this vision. And I totally think so too. That sounds awesome.
I 100% think that this is going to be their breakout season.
Yeah.
That Hash is a very, very
Hash is
very
so incredible. They recently picked up Scribble or Call 911 of Breakthrough fame, and you always see that you always saw him popping off. Always giving a lot of teams trouble. It's just a shame that it's just a shame that team just wasn't. It didn't seem like they were on the same page a lot of the time. There were always these flashes of brilliance from everyone on that team, and I'm really excited to see how he's gonna do this coming season. But yeah, let's talk about Workshop for a hot second. That came out of nowhere. Like, what is that?
I think with the single stroke, the developers made the game so much more open-ended and so much more crowdfunded in terms of content. That it made it so much more viable, or not viable. That viable is not the right word.
I guess like rejuvenated. You talk here's exactly. The Storm 2.0. You talk about Warcraft 3, like the big update that came for that for classic servers. You talk about this.
The thing about Workshop is that it gives the players, right? Like I said, like it gives the players and the community more chances to be more creative, right? I mean, that's underselling it by a massive margin, but I mean, there some I read some stats somewhere that there's a lot more people watching competitive Overwatch,
right?
Like Overwatch League.
I mean, dude, like the Dallas home game. Like, did you see how hype that was? Right?
Yeah. No. The point that I'm trying to make is that like there's a lot more people watching competitive Overwatch than playing competitive Overwatch. You know, so it shows a lot of I don't want to say fatigue, but like a disconnect in between how Overwatch should be played versus the the person that's just playing competitive, right? Okay. With Workshop, it doesn't necessarily help out the competitive scene,
right?
But it definitely drives more people to check out Overwatch, right?
Yeah,
because it'll just increase the visibility and
right.
I'm excited. It's amazing.
And I really think Workshop's gonna be like integral to like long-term health of the game, because like you look at things that have really opened up their map creators, like like Warcraft 3 again. Sorry to bring up all the Warcraft 3 references today. And it was because of the map editor and because of the opening of their SDK that led to like Dota being created. And then like when Dota, and then that's when like Dota Auto Chess was created, when that became a thing, right? When they opened up their thing. And I'm really excited to see all like the really, really intense game modes. I've seen like turn-based gameplay now. Like I've seen like working actual like portal systems with like momentum being conserved going through, and it's incredible. Like, my goodness. Like, I think one of my favorite game modes currently is Anna Paintball, but like there's like jump pads around around the entire map, and if you get 15 kills you start like burning, but like there's no damage, so everyone can see you more. And if you have like 1 kill left, then you have like a skull on your head that everyone can see in the map, and you have to get a sleep dart's last kill. So like that's pretty wild. That's one of my favorites. Cool.
I'm seeing in the chat that somebody's saying we should make OWP a StarCraft League. I'm down. Are
you a Zerg guy? You sound like a Zerg guy.
I'm a wannabe Zerg guy, but I know in my heart that I'm a Protoss player.
Oh my god, I'm tearing through and through, dude.
Of course you would be. Of course you would.
What does that even mean? Get out.
Because you're a turtle, dude.
I'm a what?
You're a turtler.
All right.
Very defensive.
You know
Not
what?
like as a person, but like in your playstyle. Whatever.
Yeah. All right. I can see why you're a wannabe Zerg, Reshmain. Let's talk about the map pool real quick. Let's get this going underway. God, this is just going all over the place.
This is the best show that we've been on.
This is the best show on Twitch. Like, I am low key drunk. Like, not gonna lie. Like, I'm like,
a little bit still. Okay.
Like there's a
well,
reason.
there's a reason why we're wearing sunglasses.
There's a reason
today.
why we're wearing sunglasses. Not gonna lie. Let's get
talk
going.
about the map pool.
Let's talk about the map pool.
Map 1.
Okay.
Hybrid.
All right. Season 4 map pool. Let's talk about it. Map 1's hybrid. We're talking about Blizzard World versus Hollywood. Like, no King's Row, which I think that a lot of people are going to lament because they're like, oh, King's Row is the best Overwatch map, and I think it's Nepal, but whatever. What do we think? Like, immediately looking at this, Blizzard World, Hollywood, what are we thinking?
Immediately what I'm thinking is that Hollywood first point is always going to be played Goats against Bunker.
It's always going to be Goats against Bunker, yeah.
Goats against Bunker is always going to be the play for those. Blizzard World, I'm not too sure because I haven't had a lot of experience playing Blizzard World in a competitive setting.
Blizzard World is always a double sniper map. Like, either attack or defense, someone's always playing that trick shot Widow that's either going to dominate the entire game on first point, but as soon as you get over into payloads phase, it's like it kind of devolves into like either standard 2-2-2 or there's a lot of pharmacy running around.
Yeah,
like
I think we're gonna see a lot of triple DPS comps coming in because a lot of main tank players in the league are getting more and more comfortable with Hamster.
Yeah, and I think that's going to be the defining characteristic going forward. It's how well you can incorporate Hamster, whether it be in like your standard 3-3 comp of like subbing out like Ball for D.Va now, because apparently people are getting like D.Va fatigue is what I'm going to call it, as well as incorporating it into their 3-2-1 comps, like in their triple DPS comps, because like the Hamster has so much self-sustain. Like, it's like low-key ridiculous.
He has the thing that he has the most is mobility.
That's true. Yeah.
You know, when you're running that triple DPS, you know, most of the time the point is to be elusive and to be mobile.
Now,
where you can get picks where you can separate the team, type of stuff.
This reminds me of another game mode I saw on Workshop where they applied the Hamster like momentum to Lucio, so you have to like wall ride to get damage and then run into people. Oh my god, it's ridiculous. Dude, it's ridiculous. It's so good.
Anyways, Control, I'm really glad to see Oasis.
Yeah.
Oasis, Action News team, one of the former teams that I was on, we had actually a really good strategy in those back in the day.
Was it Goats? Because everyone had that strategy.
No. It was it wasn't like unique to us.
Yeah.
But Tactical actually taught us a good rotation on that map. So I have fond memories of Oasis.
And on the other side, we do have Ilios, right? One of my favorite maps. Just because it has like so much open space. It has a lot of options for aerial combat, a lot of options for flank routes, a good amount of environmentals too, right? So that's always a really fun time. And
I predict we're gonna see a lot of Pharah and Widow players shine in those Control maps.
And there's gonna be a good amount of Orisa as well over on places like Ruins.
Wait. Well, definitely. I don't know about Ruins.
Not about Ruins. I was thinking that I feel that Orisa Bunker could work really well on the bridge because with Baptiste being introduced, which wasn't able to be played in the finals, right? I think a lot of us are very comfortable in thinking that, oh, you know, like we haven't gotten used to having him in a game yet. So I'm really excited to see how this week 1 schedule, you know, comes through. We'll talk about that in a second. Paris and Volskaya. Paris finally has come to OWP, and I don't think a lot of people are happy about that.
Well, here's the thing about Paris. Any new map in general, it forces people to get creative with their compositions,
right,
or be proactive in searching compositions out, right? The reason why King's Row and Hollywood and Goats maps are so popular is because they're the easiest to kind of anticipate, right?
Yeah.
They're the easiest to anticipate, therefore you're gonna have a lot more practice on those, right? Because it's easier to, you know, play something you're familiar with, right?
Yeah. I mean,
Paris. Obviously, it's a assault map. So
it's a beautiful map. I feel like it's very much first point. Like, it almost feels like a reskin. It almost feels like a reskin of Anubis. Like, I'm not gonna lie, it definitely feels like it. just with like that first point high ground and with that second point like very, very like closed off interior. I just wish they'd adjust defending spawns a little bit. I feel like that's the only thing that's really got people riled up. At least that's what got me riled up about it when I first heard about it. It's like shades of Volskaya in there as well. So I'm expecting a lot of similar compositions between Paris and Volskaya coming through, you know? So there's going to be the occasional bunker. There's going to be the occasional like double sniper, if anything.
I don't know if we're going to see a lot of similar comps between the two assault maps, because Volskaya is a very specific it's a very specific map in terms of composition like requirements or demands.
For point 1, yeah. I feel like for point 2, people default to like stall, or people default to, you know, this like long-term like game plan with either 3-3 or with double sniper.
Yeah. I think that we're gonna see more traditional ones in Volskaya, because I mean it's Volskaya. You know, first point on attack, you're probably gonna see a lot of either 3-3 or triple DPS.
Right.
Triple DPS most likely, because I don't think people are gonna be running double sniper.
Right.
It's just fallen out of style on first point Volskaya.
And by the way, if we're wrong, tell us in Twitch chat. Tell us what you think, and we'll also respond to them, you know, as we're sort of going through. Let's talk about Rialto and Route 66. And I feel like Rialto is a favorite map of so many people, so I'm glad to see its return. Route 66, we haven't seen that played since what, season 2 of OWP? Well, don't quote me on that, but regardless, Route 66, what do you think we're gonna see?
That's a very, very heavily sniper driven map.
Yeah.
I think we're gonna see a lot of pirate ships. I don't think we're gonna see a lot of Reinhardt Zen goats. At least I don't think anymore, because a lot of people are going to be transitioning to Winston. They're going to want that mobility.
I feel like
that sniper pressure with Winston.
I feel like if we were to talk about almost like the tier list of like heroes now, I feel like Zen goats, obviously like Zen was like S tier, right? And I feel like he's like dropped to A tier just a little bit now with the prevalence of a lot of dive tanks coming out and with Baptiste coming out. Just because, like, Baptiste has proven that he can be a really, really good damage dealer, but Zen still has an amazing defensive ult. So I feel like that's going to be the question people are going to be asking themselves: do we want to run a Baptiste-based comp or a Zen-based comp? Because also,
well, you don't have to choose, because in 3-3 comps, you're not replacing Zen, you're replacing Brigitte with Baptiste.
Right.
Most of the time.
Right.
Anyways,
I just got schooled on 3-3. Thanks, Sid. I appreciate it.
Well, you know, we did definitely do a lot of homework on Ultrawave, man. Like, we were a player-run team. Our coaches were our official coaches were fairly inactive.
Yeah.
So we had to really hunker down on coaching ourselves and getting really taking accountability and like making sure that we ourselves were looking to improve on our own and as a team, as a collective.
So can I ask about your opinion on quad support?
Quad support?
I've
never played it.
Oh my goodness! Oh, that'd be an actual ridiculous game.
Yeah. You know who was a big fan of playing 6 supports though?
What?
Was my main man D3018. Shout out to D30.
Oh my
I know
God.
He's not watching because he's in school. But talk about the most fun player. Well, that's not true, because Rice is fun to play as well.
Shout out to Rice.
They're a close second. They're neck and neck in terms of being fun to play with. But the most entertaining definitely is D30. The way he tilts people and the way he BMs people is so unique.
Yeah. All right.
That it forces people to question their existence.
All right. So D30's main, his main playstyle is making people fight themselves. All right, look at that.
Exactly.
Welcome, a Canadian named Matt. I didn't see you at the anime watch party. What gives? Weebs out. Let's talk about the tiebreaker.
He's not in school. Sorry, I just read the chat. It's Sunday. Why would he be in school?
It's Sunday.
I don't know. You know what?
He just slept in. He's probably has something in his system.
Canadian. What the heck did they do in Canada, man? I don't know what school system they got in Canada. You probably go to school on Sundays and go to church on Wednesday. I don't know.
Sid, it's okay that you forgot that school doesn't happen on Sunday. Speaking of Sunday, last Sunday was Easter. Happy Easter to anyone who's who's following, that sort of thing. And yeah, took a very well needed break from the podcast, that sort of thing. I'm ready to get back into it.
I just saw somebody call me big dumb. You are 100% right, Leon. This morning has not been kind to me.
This morning hasn't been kind to either of us. There's a reason we have sunglasses, so thank you for being here for the premiere. Oh, we love you guys. Let's go into roster review. Oh wait, never mind. Not roster review. We're gonna talk about the week 1 schedule. Drum roll, please.
Here we go.
Oh, let's go.
Let's get it.
Drum roll, please. Where are you at? Where is this even at? Yoink.
Rise it up.
Yeah. Look at that transition. Oh, what a great transition.
Okay.
Let's talk about the week 1 schedule. We got Mercury Cougars versus Single Woman in Your Area, Skyhounds versus 05 Heads Night Ops versus Lightbringers Leftovers, Breakthrough versus Seven Sins. Action News team taking a quick bye week, which they're going to need if they're going to try to field a roster of 6 players. I'm really scared about week 1. This week has so many people that are battling against each other.
Obviously Forbes, but
sorry, I meant
the
like
marquee.
Fucking, oh my god.
The marquee match.
Yeah, let's go.
Of this week.
Yeah.
Has got to be Mercury Cougars.
Oh my god, Mercury versus Suya is gonna be baller.
Let's talk about it a little bit.
Okay.
Mercury Cougars. If we were to name Overwatch League teams and compare them to their OWP analogs, Mercury Cougars is definitely Dallas Fuel on a good day.
Oh my god, what? No, you gotta give them more credit than that.
They're Dallas Fuel on a good day, dude. Like, they 4-0, excuse me. But Suya is definitely probably one of the best run teams. Shout out to Anza.
I'd put Suya at current NYXL level. I don't think so. I'd put Suya at current. What, you think they're shocked? You think what? You think they're shocked?
Definitely. I don't think they're NYXL because I don't think anybody besides Alpine Wolves has that persona in OWP.
All right, okay.
It strikes me more as
okay. They're constant playoff contenders. Their tank line gets in a solid all-star game every single time. What, like the Philly Fusion?
I think they're Philly.
Yeah, you know what? I could go for Philly Fusion that way. And regardless, and
their hard carry was Jaharo.
Yeah, he's graduated to assistant coach. Congrats on getting masters, my guy. But that doesn't mean that there's a lack of talent on either of these teams. Mercury, we still got CJ, we still got Kabo, we still got Shesh, sort of like the OG,
Is Herbs still on Mercury?
Almost carry of that role. I believe Herbs is. Rice recently got picked up to MC. That's gonna be such a huge addition to that team.
That's massive.
Filling in that off-field slot. And of course,
Ultrawave players getting poached left and right.
Oh my goodness, maybe if Ultrawave was still here, they wouldn't be. And of course, to round out the supports, we got Aiden, Rush, Chase, and a distinct lack of Toop. Now that's going to be a really big loss. I feel like Toop's vocal comms, we always talked about how integral that was to always coordinating
Toop's
all of our guys.
Toop's a thrower anyways, dude.
Toop's a
you don't have to worry about Toop.
You know what? He was a damn good thrower then. I'll tell you that. And
here's the thing. Here's the reason. Here's the reason why I'm calling out Toop a little bit. He's mechanically one of the best Lucio players in the league, and he knows it. So he tries to go for isolation plays as often as possible and does not give a shit about getting caught out. And he put that on display during All-Star game. Nobody really cared, but we were trying to put it on a show.
Right.
But I'm still a little bit salty about that too. God damn it.
Well, regardless, we also have Suya sort of on the other side. And let's see who Suya has in their roster right now. I should really know this and memorize this at the end of the day, but we still got Moisty Nico, new pickup in Chrono Wolf. That was the former coach of Breakthrough, Silver Sacks, Pig Dog, reprising his role as that main tank. Costanza still getting there on DPS. Pichu and Potato Head, new pickups.
I'm not really familiar with those two players. I haven't
had the opportunity to see them either, but I still think that that really solid core is going to take them really far in a league where teams are switching all the time, right? I feel like if I were to ask you the Skyhounds roster at the beginning of last season versus now, it's also drastically different, right?
Yeah, it's very different. It's also been almost completely rebuilt. There's some original players from the original roster coming back.
Yeah, that's good. And a lot of players from new ones. Let's talk about that. Skyhounds versus O5 Heads. We say O5 Heads is the dark horse of OWP this season. Now, talk to me about it.
I can't necessarily stay unbiased for that matchup because, you know, Skyhounds is my new home. It's home to a few players that I'm very much invested in.
Okay.
So I can't really comment too much, but I will say that the talent on both teams, I mean, it's guaranteed for a good match at the very least.
And O5 Heads, you know, we still got XYS and Hobbs coming back. We still have Moe, Baselpi, Souptime, Readerab, and Richie Ways all bringing in, you know, their same roles from last season. New pickup in Call 911 or Scribble. He goes by Scribble now. They go by Scribble now. Forgive me. That's gonna be really useful. I feel like O5 Heads is I think they're ready, picking up more DPS in anticipation of the new meta, and I think it's gonna carry them really far. It's gonna carry them really far.
I think the biggest asset though to them is definitely Hash. Coaching them. I mean, it was
a big win.
There's only a couple of I've had experience with quite a few coaches in the league. Hash is probably one of the ones that comes closest to my old coach, Tactical.
Tactical, yeah.
As far as wanting to guide and having guide players and actually having not just the knowledge, because a lot of people have the knowledge to, you know, progress, but having the patience.
But someone to put you on that time frame is something that's very, very important.
Knows how to teach.
Right. That's a big one. Breakthrough versus Seven Sins. And frankly, Seven Sins also like a monster this season. Breakthrough still looking like they have a lot of potential in them. Let's talk about it. Seven Sins.
Seven Sins always, you know, my experience with Seven Sins, besides, you know, season 0 and season 1.
Yeah.
Excuse me. They've always taken a little bit of time to get started in their momentum, but every single time you cannot underestimate Seven Sins.
You really can't.
And they showed that in multiple late season games where people kind of sort of wrote them off, right? And then they end up clapping back harder than anybody would anticipate.
This is the Seven Sins hype curve. All right. Okay. So like this side is gonna be like the beginning, right? So before the season starts, super hyped, and then it goes immediately down, and then it goes high up again. Like as that performance just tends to always hype people up. They're like, oh wait a second, Seven Sins. I thought they did this. I thought they did that. No, dude, Seven Sins is in your house and they're ready to take your SR.
Yeah. Also a contender for being one of the best managed teams. Shout out to Solus.
That's true.
I've actually been taking a lot of cues from some of the more unsung heroes in terms of team management.
Yeah.
Shout out to Mubot and shout out to Solus. They're actually my role models in terms of management. Taking a lot of advice from them.
And both of them recently got promotions too in staff. Mubot now mod, Solus now admin, along with a bunch of others. If you see a lot of blue suits and black ties in the server, be sure to tell them congratulations, including yours truly. Action.
I mean, it's well deserved.
Right. Yeah. Thank you, Sid. I appreciate it. Action News team taking a bye week, you know, so which means that within map differential, for those who are calculating, keeping your own Excel sheets at home, Action News team will get an instant 4-0 this week, so they're going to be at the top of your standings for, you know, the upper division, right? And that's just how it's going to be. And I really hope they can find, you know, a couple more players soon.
I hope they can get it together. Because
get it together.
I hope they can get it together because that team name, Skyhounds, Mercury Cougars.
Are you gonna say all those were you?
And Lightbringers? No. They carry with them a legacy. You know what I mean? Like they have those teams have a legacy of producing great players.
That's
true. And I'm not talking about me for an Action News team because, you know, I'm not. It's not that. I know it sounds like I'm leading into that. But if you take a look at Seven Sins, like their original roster. I mean, Evergreen and Free Shot.
Right.
That tank line, probably the scariest tank line I've ever seen from OWP.
Right. And of course,
right?
MC has with it a huge legacy of phenomenal players.
DPS players
great coaches,
that have, I mean, come on, like Ben,
right?
Like Puppy.
This music is too sad right now. Like, we are going on a trip down nostalgia lane. I can ask for a better premiere than this.
Well, the reason why I'm bringing that up is because Action News Team,
I'm gonna cry.
We didn't produce any. Well, we had like a couple of graduates, but we kind of, but the team actually faltered and kind of went kaput in season 2. So but it does still carry that legacy of producing great players, right? So one of the oldest teams in the league.
Mm-hmm. I just realized that we totally missed the one in between, Night Ops versus LBL, right? And I think that's going to be another headliner coming through. Night Ops, of course, taking their entire roster that were champions, coming up against, a team that's been through a lot of change, and I don't know if they're finding their stride just yet. Well, let me read out some names to you real quick, all right? Carowin, formerly of Lightbringers, right? King Crimson, Figs, Endo, Chaos, or C4OS, Kiwi, Sunny, Nahat, D30, and Plugged In.
See, here's the thing. Like,
this is a team of players that is scary, but they've been on so many different teams, and there's so much personality in this team. I'd totally like pay someone 10 loot boxes just to hear their comms, just to see what it's like.
Well, knowing D30 and knowing Endo.
Knowing Endo, shout out to Endo. He's in the chat.
Knowing both of them and knowing how they comm, I think either they'll be great friends, or they're gonna be the bane of each other's existences.
Right. I can see that.
That being said, Night Ops, I'd be surprised if Night Ops dropped a map to this team.
Really? You're expecting a 4-0 on the side of Night Ops?
I'm expecting a complete 4-0 from Night Ops. Yeah. The way Night Ops plays, here's the thing. Talking about like not underestimating your teams, Night Ops has always formerly Scuffed as well. Talk about a team that has a legacy of producing.
I know, dude. Scuffed. They were season 0 champions too. The very first season of OWP. That's something.
I think they're the only organization in OWP that has multiple season wins.
Yep, that's true so far. But then we haven't had enough seasons, right? We haven't had enough seasons. But I get you.
That's still something to be said, right? Or as an organization and as players and as a team, that team, you can never, ever count Night Ops to not play clean. As far as their mechanics, as far as their their organization and their team play and synergy, it's always going to be tight. I mean, Ultra Wave was better, but
And on that note, we're actually going to bring in our very, very first guest. I was just getting stuff set up. We have Honksy. Honksy, come on in. And I'm just going to be like, Honksy, come on in the Discord chat that this is all sort of operating out of. So hopefully it works out. Hopefully it doesn't look too scuffed. And hey, how's it going? Welcome to the show.
What up, dude?
Thanks for making yourself available. As I'm just getting everything sort of set up, do you want to quickly introduce yourself and what team you play for?
Good morning.
Morning. My name's Honksy. I don't play for a team right now, but I'm helping manage Skyhounds with Sid at the moment.
Okay. All right. You're helping manage Skyhounds with Sid. How's that been going for you?
It's kind of just grunt work. The stuff that Sid doesn't want to do, I do. So look for scrims, look for players, things like that.
He's my hand of the king. You know what I mean?
I got a couple questions here for you, just real quick. How's your off season been? What have you been doing to prepare? How has Skyhounds been handling the off season? And this is sort of a question to pose at both of you, right? So if you want to elaborate on it, by all means.
Sure. Well, I mean, most of the stuff that I do, again, is just grunt work. The vision of the team for Skyhounds is up to Sid and Ronan as the coach. So all I do is really provide as much information I can for them and have them come up with whatever the direction of Skyhounds is supposed to go in. So.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. Sid, anything to add?
Yeah, I mean, he pretty much covered all the bases. I'm making him do all the grunt work, and we're, as far as Skyhounds goes, We're still in the process of
like the foundational phase of building up something that's going to be a masterpiece, and I get that.
Yeah.
Are you intimidated by any of the other teams in the division right now?
Me personally, or
actually, you know what, Hongsi, you're here. Why don't you go first?
If I'm gonna be honest, I don't have any investment in the team that way, so I don't pay attention to any of the teams.
Okay.
I'm just trying to focus into what, again, the vision of the manager and the coaches.
Okay.
And I'll let them answer those types of questions because that's not really up to me, I think.
And the answer to the question is, I'm not intimidated by anybody.
All right. You know what? Fair enough. Like on one side, you're like, I don't expect Night Ops to take a map off this team, right?
Here's the thing. As far as putting our team against other teams, if you go in thinking, scared, or if you're intimidated, you've already lost, right?
Right.
So even if you are scared, even if you are, a little off tilt, you don't disclose that information before the game.
No. That's fair.
You disclose that information afterwards. You tell them, hey, you know what? Even though we won or even though we lost, I just want to let you know, it really gave me pause. The way I told, about Cypher and Silver Sacks.
Right.
Getting into the game, I wasn't like, oh, Cypher and Silver Sacks, I'm so scared. But this coming season, there will be some there's gonna be some issues as far as organization, just because it's we're literally building up a new team.
Okay.
But
going
against like other teams, like it's not gonna be an issue for me.
And I wanted to bring it back to Hongsi, because Hongsi, you've been part of a new team 3 times now, right?
Okay, yeah.
And I want to ask, does it ever get any easier, just sort of adjusting to the people around you, or sort of as someone who's known to be sort of at the top of their game regardless of whatever situation they're placed in? What are some tips you can give to some of the free agents coming into the server? This is their first league experience, that sort of thing.
Well, you gotta kind of look at it as what you're really trying to accomplish in the league. And the main goal for the league is to kind of reach Masters.
Sure.
Or that should be the overall goal, reaching Masters. That's kind of what they advertise, being in a league that helps you develop as a player, and then as a teammate as well. I think it's easier for off tanks if they understand that their role specifically is to be the best teammate on the team. Right. If they understand that, then they're always gonna be playing to their strengths. Other roles, I'm not too sure, just because I don't play the other roles.
Okay.
So it's kind of like, if you understand your role, get a coach or get together with somebody that can help you understand that role even more, and then just keep playing to your strengths. Because if you're not playing to your strengths, then you're
actively throwing.
You're either that or you're just holding yourself back. There's a lot of stuff that you can't do mentally that will hold you back, and that's probably one of the things that helped me out, is just I always play to my strengths and I don't try to deviate from that.
And on the topic of that, and there's one thing I wanted to say, and I'm gonna get back to you, so don't worry. There was a comment in the confession box. There were actually multiple comments in the confession box that said, on the topic of OWP always sort of incentivizing people to play better and be a consistent, cut above the rest in terms of communication, that sort of thing. They said that the league should be restructured to go across rank break lines. Like lower division should be plat and under, upper division should be diamond and above. Can I get your thoughts on that?
It's funny because I even talked to Sid and other members from the community where I said that when they introduced the tier stuff or the division split, I thought it would be one of the best ways to kind of go about it would be to have kind of like how high schools or just schools in sports have a Frosh team, junior varsity team, and then a varsity team, having kind of basically have like 6 teams in total for the entire server, and then just split those teams into like 3, but keep it so it's like a roster of like 12 to 18 players for each team, and then just have everybody work together, but having everybody, obviously, like the Frosh team would be maybe bronze to plat, or not bronze to plat, like bronze to gold, and then JV would be plat to diamond. And then because there isn't a place for masters players to actually get
really
better or
flex
even
their
compete,
skills. Yeah.
So like a lot of the master players end up just being coaches, and to be honest, a lot of them don't want to be coaches. They just decide to be coaches because they're at that level and they could try and help out other people. But I've seen so many times over and over where a lot of masters players don't have the skill set or don't want to like use that skill set to help other players. So like give them a place to actually play, and that'll be on the varsity team, you know, with high diamond into master players. But,
what a lot of people don't realize about coaching is that it's not just about having the knowledge about the game. It's about having the vision to actually get a group of players, and you know, a group of players to get better and achieve something together. You know, you could be a 3700, you know, or GM Widow, right? But if you don't know how to lead a team, right, as a coach, you're essentially useless.
So basically, we should have let that one GM Widow play in the lower division because he was a gold support. His words, not mine.
No, it's not even that. It's just like, okay, useless is the wrong word, obviously.
No. I know. I'm just giving you a hard time.
It's time and time again, it's been shown that just being able to do a VOD review isn't enough to lead a team.
Right.
It's not enough. Right. You need to have a want to actually get into the minute details, and craft like specific, sort of like a curriculum.
Almost, yeah, and that's literally what it is, because you're always constantly growing. I get that, yeah.
Right, some sort of like plan for the entirety of the team.
Yeah.
Right, that takes a lot of work, and I know for a fact that and not to age shame, but like I know for a fact that a lot of these like 16, 17-year-olds that are hitting these ranks, they're very, very good mechanically, but they're not ready to lead.
No,
and they don't want to. And they don't want to,
Right. Well, to all the 16, 17-year-olds out there who are getting high ranks, come join Overwatch Pretenders. If you haven't joined it already, we have a Discord, we have a YouTube, we have a Twitch that we're hanging out at right now, right?
I do have a question for you, Honksy, and I already know the answer to this because I'm your former teammate.
And best friend, idiots.
And my best friend and my hand of the king. I'm just kidding. It's Game of Thrones tonight, guys. I'm excited. What was your experience like in Ultrawave?
Working with Ultrawave, are they the best team in the league? I need to know.
I know it's a joke, but like I want this to come from somebody else. Because I'm the biggest loudmouth in the server at this point, right? I want this. What was your experience like in Ultrawave, and what do you think made us so successful?
Someone post a copy pasta.
Somebody post the pasta right now.
Well, I mean, the experience was finally being able to play with players that wanted to improve. So like all the teams I've been on had players. There's one or two players that have actively, tried to improve, gotten VOD reviews, done things that they wanted to do. Like that was the goal of the league. But for the most part, the teams never really wanted to like improve in a way that Ultrawave wanted to. So I guess that would be like my experience, actually finally being able to play with all like an entire team of people that were very dedicated to improving. I remember someone mentioned before, it's like, oh, you just picked the team with the best players, and I remember I mentioned like, no, we picked the teammates with the best mentalities, and those mentalities were people that actually wanted to improve. So
yeah, and I can definitely agree with that. I think like the attitudes around Ultrawave have always been like the most chill, but also one of the most ambitious, and I can't help but respect that. So thank you for sharing.
Yeah,
I really
we had a team of players that it bothered them when we lost, and that
they're called Ultrawave.
It's important because it shows that it matters to you more than just, oh well, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like it bothered people when we lost or we couldn't do something. We were like, fuck, how do we bounce back?
How do we progress? Yeah.
How do we progress farther than this? Because this is what's currently stopping us.
Okay.
Right? For example, Somber Goats, in the last couple weeks of the season, I can't tell you how scared I was as the Zen player in that team of Costanza EMPing the backline. It gave me nightmares. Like legit, I was so scared of Suya and their Sombra Goats that we literally had to reach out to Tactical and have him craft like a plan for us, and actually collectively decide to, like, hey, this is the plan, this is what we're gonna try to do.
Right.
This is gonna be our, mechanics. And Honksy, what was it like, towards the end of the season when we actually had to face Suya? What was that experience like?
It was very stressful for me. Because basically the whole strat was to have, and this should be the strat for every team, every off tank, every D.Va player. You have literally the best way to counter the comp of Sombra Goats. So if you're not actively, spy checking, then you are pretty much throwing. So you're allowing the other team to have so much information and space that it's almost impossible to win so many fights if you're not doing it. But basically, it was all up to how much I could communicate and spy check consistently, and then having my team react to all the calls that I would make after a reveal was done. So.
Right. And, I guess I just have one last question for you before we let you go, and that is, what are your plans for this season?
I mean, same thing that I said before with managing, just having the best, the best work ethic for the manager and then the coach for Skyhounds, and hopefully they could actually get the team together to get some wins and maybe the season one.
Ultra Wave 2.
Ultra Wave 2, Skyhounds Boogaloo. Honksy, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
All right, take care. Once again, that was Honksy. Oh my goodness. Wait, Honksy, come back in. Oh God. Oh, hello. Oh my goodness. There's a dog in this room. Hello. Oh.
Why is there a dog in your room?
It just be like that. Honksy, are you there?
Yeah.
I totally forgot to let you know. Now's the time for plugs. Now's the time to plug. If you have anything you want to say, now's a good time to say it. Close the door. I'm in the middle of a podcast. Please.
We're live, guys.
We're live. My sister's like, attack. I'm gonna throw up this transmission screen. You plug what you want. I'm gonna close this door.
Okay. I mean, there's nothing to plug. I just want to give some shout outs to all the teammates I've had. Especially, I want to mention Achilles. Achilles has been one of the best main supports. I honestly think he's the best main support in the server. He's not on a team anymore, but he was probably one of the best teammates I've played with in the league. Saskan as well. He was another really good teammate that I don't know if he's in a team, but he has so much potential to be such a great player. And then Tactical, like it was funny because I kind of call him as a part-time coach because he doesn't have a lot of time to be a full-time coach. But if he did have all the time to be a full-time coach, he'd be the best, like no doubt. He's so talented as analyzing and presenting ideas in a way that it's so digestible that it's insane that all his teams that he's been able to coach just are super unlucky with what happens to them. So it's just,
right.
Well,
all right. Thank you, Honks. I appreciate it. Oh, and do you have any Twitch, any Discord, any stuff you want to plug in terms of that, or?
No, I don't really do anything.
All right, be sure to follow Sid on twitch.tv/opsid1. There you go. That's your plug. I'll see you later.
Right. See you guys.
Later, Honks.
And the next guy, and we're just gonna go straight into the next interview because we have a lot of stuff to get through, and that's Jaharo. Jaharo, come on in.
Jaharo, they call sometimes Jahar Blue.
Jahar Blue? Hey, Jaharo, as I'm getting all this set up, do you want to quickly introduce yourself and what team you play for?
No longer play for a team, but assistant coaching for Suya, and that's about it.
Good afternoon.
For Suya.
Good afternoon, Jaharo.
Good afternoon.
Dude, I'm excited, dude, because I'm not excited. I'm more apprehensive that you're not going to be part of Suya anymore, dude, because you were pretty much the hard carry for that team, man.
It is a big relief actually for Sid because he's like, oh, thank God, when Skyhounds goes up against him.
Yes. That's 100% accurate.
It'll be a lot easier this time around, no? But Jaharo, thank you so much for being on the show. You've been on the stage before, but it's always nice to see you again. How you been?
I've been doing good. Just trying to get pugs happening. Not enough people joining pugs.
That's what we should be plugging. That's what we should be plugging, to be honest with you.
If you guys blame the anime watch party, that's 1 day a week, and I'm gonna straight up kick you guys from my pod. No, I'm just kidding.
No, we're not blaming the weebs, but we're definitely hankering for more people to show up. Show up to pugs.
Show up to pugs. Show up to anime watch parties every Wednesday at 8 PST, 11 EST.
Jaharo,
Unless pugs are going on, then you join pugs first.
You have 6 other days to join pugs. You know what? I'm not gonna get into this. Congratulations.
Jaharo, I do have some inquiries for you. What's it like not having to play with Costanza anymore, dude?
It's pretty great.
A big relief. Massive relief.
My spine has been going back to its normal position. My doctor's been really happy about that. So, yeah, just.
And what's the transition like? Now. What's the transition like being a coach now, or rather an assistant coach? Is for Suya Academia?
Well, I haven't been doing that much.
Okay.
So the transition's been pretty easy as I just show up and occasionally record a vlog. But yeah, I like it a lot better than having to worry about playing on the. So I can just watch from the sidelines. Right. Not have to worry about win or loss.
Okay.
Jaharo, what do you think was the biggest factor for you graduating this season?
Jaharo, what was your favorite part of Endgame? No, don't.
That's a dance game on Marvel. But you want to elaborate on this, Sid? What do you mean by factor?
I think, well, because you're, going back to the original goal of this server is, having people progress and graduate and develop as players, right? You're one of the best success stories that the server has, right? You climbed pretty much from high plat to where you are now within a season, right? That's an achievement on its own. What do you feel like contributed to your success, and what do you think that OWP did for you in that journey?
It gave me an environment where I actually got to learn the game. Going into OWP, I didn't know what an off-tank was, and then a few days after joining OWP, I became an off-tank. So that was sort of a journey, but learning like how compositions work and like what you should be doing really helps, and I don't think you can really get that from ranked in a timely manner. I mean, you have like people with plat borders and gold and shit like that, probably because they're like botting out playing D.Va. But I feel like the scrim environment really tells you a lot about the game and prepares you to.
I feel like I think there's always this like really big disconnect of watching Overwatch League games, and you look at this pinnacle of teamwork, look at this pinnacle of communication. I'm gonna go into ranked and I'm gonna do what I saw there, and then it just doesn't happen. And I feel like OWP is this very nice environment where you can be like, okay, hey, I saw this. Let's look to make this happen, and here's the way we should be doing it. And then you're always improving in your comms, you're always improving in your team play, and I think it really just hones home that Overwatch is like a team-driven game. Yeah?
Yeah, like an electrician doesn't watch a YouTube video before going to do a job. Like, he got experience, he knows how to do it from that experience. Right. And I think that OWP offers that, something that like OWL can't. So it helps a lot there.
Yeah. I wanted to ask, well, as someone who is always a central part of GOATS, because you're always known for your Zarya play, is GOATS dead?
No, it's not.
He's not known for his Zarya player. He's the best Zarya player in the server.
He's the best Zarya player in the server. All right, I'll take it. And no, it's not.
And dead. I'm best friends with Honksy, mind you.
Honksy's known for his D.Va play.
Off-tank.
Anyway,
come on, man! I'm trying to get the juice out here, bro.
All right. If you want juice, let's just hit up some of these community confessions real quick.
Oh Jesus Christ! We're not done with Jaharo.
But TiVo's grabs are unpredictable from Matt. TiVo, if you're watching, be a better Zarya player and look at Jaharo. Because don't make your grabs predictable.
So I do have a serious inquiry or question for Jaharo.
Yep, go for it.
Or not question. I guess question. What would be some advice that you could give to anybody that's looking to follow in your footsteps, Jaharo, as far as graduating and getting better? and how they can utilize OWP to do that.
Right. So basically, take in any information you really can. See what works, see what doesn't work in scrims, and take the information you take from OWP and actually try to apply it to ranked. Because if you play like 4 ranked games a season, you're not going to climb. Like, you have to actually.
So you have to actually make an effort to play competitive, right?
Even if you've been playing in OWP for like 2 seasons, you have a ton of scrim experience, you're not gonna get to a certain rank if you don't put in enough games. It's all about time.
You gotta put in that time, right?
I wanted to ask what the All-Star game was like as someone who was on the other side of it, playing against Sid and his cohort of cronies, playing alongside Moose, Sad Widowmane, Pig Dog, Cypher, Silver Sacks. How was that?
It was a fun time. I think that's what we were aiming for since Big Dog was on several drinks, but yeah, it was just a fun game to play, and it was pretty high intensity, and it was a good time overall.
How does it feel getting stomped by? I'm just kidding.
No.
Fucking sucks, dude.
Looking at the upcoming matchups, right? Are there any that you're especially looking forward to watching, or do you have any quick predictions for us? And I'm just gonna read these back to you. Mercury Cougars versus Suia, Skyhounds versus O5 Heads, and Night Ops versus LBL, Lightbringers Leftovers, Breakthrough versus Seven Sins, and Action News Team taking a bye week.
Yeah, obviously the Suia game, because there's so many new pickups. Like, Sansa has just been finding these people from nowhere, and then they're on the team before I know it, so.
And how have they been working in scrims? Like, they've been Suia caliber?
That's the thing. I missed one scrim, and then they picked up like 2 new players.
Okay.
It's sort of like the SpongeBob scene where like Patrick comes home with like ice cream. There's just a bunch of fucking eyes underneath his own. Like, I don't know who these people are really, so I'm glad to like see them play, see how they actually interact. But the leagues from Costanza have been promising.
Yeah. The vision of that is only enhanced by the fact that you have like a pink PFP, so you're like coming home to your rock. That is the Discord dark theme. What do you think about the Night Ops versus Lightbringers Leftovers matchup? I feel like you've played very much against, Night Ops, obviously, as well as a lot of the people in the Lightbringers roster currently. What do you think about that matchup?
Nightbringers haven't changed the roster too much, have they? Still like about the same.
They've actually had a mass.
They've had a massive overhaul, yeah. So let me read some names out to you. Carowin, King Crimson, Figs, Endo, Chaos, Kiwi, Sunny, Nayhat, D30, and Plugged In.
This is Night Ops?
This is Lightbringers Leftovers.
Oh, no. I was talking about Night Ops. Night Ops still...
Yeah, Night Ops?
I think Ramen, is dipping.
Yep, that's right.
I may have my facts wrong, but I don't know.
Yeah, but the rest of Night Ops is still, very much there to stay. Knave, Nathan, Archmacedan, Chief, Majestic Moose, Sad Widowmane, Jar, Chat Noir, they're still there. They picked up Tilt. I haven't
Tilt
seen,
got picked up?
I haven't seen him. Do you know about Tilt?
Tilt is a very promising flex support player.
Okay.
She's actually we did some VOD reviews in the past.
Okay. Okay. And you think she's gearing up to be the next big Sid in the league? The next big Ana Zen in the league?
Time will tell.
Time will tell.
Time will tell. But she has a lot of potential.
And Jaharo, I wanted to ask just real quick, what do you think about the academy teams? Just because you're also part of Suia Academy. Academy schedule hasn't been announced yet, right? It's going to happen. Thank you so much for your patience. We really appreciate it. But I wanted to ask where you think Suia Academy sort of stacks up with other juggernauts in the Academy League. I thought last season that the Academy League was where things got really spicy with teams like Behind Action Team, Lightbringers Legacy, as well as Seven Sins Academy and Suia Academy really sort of rounding out a really solid roster. What do you think about it?
To Academy, not because I just don't like watching Academy, it's just I am really busy. I barely keep up with upper division. As far as Academy goes, I don't really know much about anything, to be honest.
Okay. And maybe well, I mean, hey, maybe I wouldn't cast them out just yet. For anyone who's watching, be sure to definitely check out the Academy games, also coming up very soon, and also the movement to a 10-week system. here in the season. So this is going to be a longer season than a lot of people are anticipating. Previously it was 5 weeks. This time it's 10 weeks. What do you think about that? Like, are you excited for like the long haul? Like how are we feeling?
It's definitely going to afford a lot more teams losses.
Like abilities to bounce back and still be in playoffs.
Yeah. But Jar, what do you think?
I like longer seasons, less downtime, so this is great. The entire idea of like taking a week between like semis to finals and all that after only like a few weeks of playing is pretty lame.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
yeah, and that was an issue 2 seasons
build-up,
ago. Yeah. Yeah, that was an issue 2 seasons ago. And I guess my last question for you: what are your plans for this season, and how are you going to elevate your own personal game? And do you have any lessons for anyone else?
I'm gonna keep grinding pugs. I want pugs to happen at least 5 days a week during the summertime. I think that should be manageable.
Oh,
and
pugs is gonna be popping in the summer.
Pugs are gonna be popping, dude. Midnight pugs are gonna be going until tomorrow. But anyways,
we're gonna make that happen, dude.
It better happen. But I'm gonna aim for GM this season.
All right.
Next season.
Jaharo, aiming for GM this season. Thanks so much for being on the show. Now's the time to plug whatever you want, but you already plugged pugs. What you got going on in your life?
I can plug pugs again.
Keep going.
Yep.
OWP pugs starts at midnight.
Yep.
Can't start earlier if you're gonna join.
Yep. All right.
Show up to Pugs 1.
Pugs 1 will move you to a team. Don't worry about it. We'll get it all figured out. Just show up.
Make sure you add mac and
Make
cheese.
yourself known.
All right, the Pug Lords themselves. Jaharo being one of the greats. Jaharo, thanks so much for being here. And yeah, good luck this season.
Thanks, dude.
Yeah.
Later, Jar.
Once again, that was Jaharo. This plug that he requested was come to Pugs. They start at midnight, but they typically start earlier on EST, so I've heard they started around 10 EST, and he wants them to happen 5 days a week during the summer.
Here's the thing, dude. Pugs is one of the best, on a serious note, Pugs is one of the best ways to get noticed and get picked up on a team. So if you're a free agent and you want to, you want to get more visibility out there, right? For as a player, play Pugs. Ultra Wave was made up of completely from Pugs players.
Really? Is that right?
Yes, 100%. Except for Achilles. Achilles we picked up mid-season.
Achilles is just because he's a god tier Lucio, and...
Well, no, it's because Adam was like...
Well,
MIA, so we're like, we need somebody to have a backup.
We'll get into that later, but we have another guest on our hands. You know him as one of the big daddies of the server.
The big daddy of the server.
I know him as one of my best friends in OWP. Spidey, welcome to the show.
Hello, hello.
Now you promised there'd be a face reveal, but there wasn't.
Did
I mean, you were yes,
you did.
yeah, yep, yeah.
Listen,
where is
it? We had
it?
the face reveal already on Achilles' meetup video. If you haven't seen me yet, well, that's on you.
Roll the clip.
There's oh my god. No.
I don't.
I'll put it up at the end.
That's the problem.
I'm sorry. One more
But
time,
I'm working on
Spidey.
getting one,
Okay.
so.
I'm cranking up your user volume. Hopefully that helps. Thank you so much for being on the show. It's your first
no
time
problem.
ever being on the show.
It is.
And you're one of the main admins of OWP, of whose admin team has gone through quite a few restructures. Can you tell me a bit about that?
So recently, I'm sure everyone remembers, like, Rick had to step down because he didn't have time. Melody and Artemu, bless their hearts, they've done a ton for the server, but they also didn't just have the time to be admins anymore. So we kind of were forced to look at what we had and shift things around, right? Because the league is still growing, the server is still growing. Our needs have only grown since its inception. So we're always constantly trying to grow, and I just couldn't do it by myself anymore. I needed the help. So it took a while to get everything in place.
Right.
Because, when you're working at the level of admin, like, I know most of the people in the server don't really know what goes on in staff or anything, or in the staff, servers, but I'm sure as both of you can attest to, there's a lot going on behind the scenes all the time.
Yes.
Yeah.
I do have some questions. Excuse me. I do have some questions for you later on, but about workload. Not to get too nitty gritty or anything like that, but some general stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
but before that, I do want to say, well, you stepped down from Mercury Cougars, right? You took a lateral promotion to Mercury Cubs coach. How are you feeling about that? How are you feeling about your team's chances this season?
I'm super excited. Coaching and helping other people grow has always been one of the things I most look forward to.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of the things that really attracted me to OWP in the first place, because all these people are coming in and they're looking to climb, and it's I was in their position not too long ago,
right?
And I understand their drives and motivations, and it's I really sympathize with that, and I really just as a person, I like helping people, and I think this is a great way to help people, and I'm really excited to help form this family, because I had this amazing experience in Mercury Cougars, and I think it'll be really cool to sort of build that with the Cubs as well.
Yeah. Rush in Twitch chat says Spidey gets to teach the younglings how to play Brig.
Yeah. Just left click,
Oh man.
Dash, whip. Pretty complex.
And you do it all again. Well, how was your off season? Tell me about what the Mercury Cubs are doing during the off season, what you've been doing during the off season. Obviously, a lot of administrative changes, right? And what direction you see the server going in the future.
So personally, during my off season, I didn't do a lot of playing myself, which is one of the reasons I stepped down from the Cougars, was because I just hadn't been playing as much and I didn't have time to play as much. So I didn't want to, take up spot if I couldn't make it to scrims or games or what have you. So instead of that, what I've been doing is I've been focusing more time in the staff server, working with everyone else, talking about the future of OWP,
right,
where we want to go from here. And as far as the Mercury Cubs and everything, I want to give a huge shout out to all my other coaches. We got a fair amount of coaches in the Mercury Cubs, and I think that's kind of a testament to the bonds we built in the Mercury Cougars, that all these people had such a good time they want to come back and help the Cubs. But I'm actually I would say I'm not really a big driver in the Cubs. I would say that's Toops and Herbs and Puppy are really driving that team. I'm more there as auxiliary support, you know what I mean?
Right.
I'm helping where I can, and I really want to get to know all the players and help them, but I'm not gonna claim that I'm the main man behind it.
Right.
I just want,
because you're the main man of the server.
You're the main man of the server. You're the main man of a lot of other things, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So I wanted to ask, and this was one of the confessions, right? There were people expressing a lot of stress, and there were people expressing a lot of, I'm not going to use the word hate, but frustration with the admin team, stating that they were getting in the way, the admins and the mods. And as a mod, I'm I don't do anything. but I wanted to ask, you were talking about expansion projects, and you're talking about having a lot more channels to allow better communication with different people in the server. Could you tell me a bit about that? What the rationale is behind that?
Yeah. So since its inception, and I think inherently with any sort of organization, there's always going to be people that are frustrated, and that's totally understandable. And a lot of the criticism is fair, and I agree. That being said, we are a team of volunteers. We're putting in our time and at least myself, a lot of money into it as well. And we're just doing what we can. And that being said, sometimes things will fall through, or we won't have time for this or that or whatever. But that's not because it's not because we're consciously trying to shut anyone down or ignore them or what have you. It's just a time thing, and none of us are professionals, right? This isn't our jobs.
I'm a professional,
even though it feels like it.
Sid's a professional.
All right, fair enough. Aside from you guys, adminning is not a paid job or whatever.
Fun.
It's not fun. It's really work. It really is. I actually put at this point more time into adminning than I do school, even, which is probably not the best idea for my future, but it's something I'm passionate about.
Fun fact,
that being said,
Spidey and I were workshopping his resume, and he put OWP on his resume.
Yeah, dude. I'm incredibly proud of this. I mean, we've come such a far way as an organization.
Yeah.
But all that being said, the point I'm getting at is, everybody that's in staff or is a mod or an admin or anything, everyone is there because they volunteered, because they want to make OWP the best place it can be. at the end of the day, we're here for all of you. We're here to help you guys. So if you ever have any, frustrations, complaints, suggestions, or whatever, all you really have to do is reach out. I don't think anyone should be bottling it up and getting annoyed or anything. Like, talk to us. We're all here for you. And as you can see, like, we've taken a lot of steps to provide more transparency and be in contact, with the general populace of the server a lot more, like with our server updates channel. We've got our patch notes for the server.
I love that format, by the way. I think it's awesome.
We've got a communication center now, we're in constant contact with all the team reps, or even if you're not a team rep, you're more than welcome to be in there and everything. We're taking every step we can to just be in constant contact with everyone.
Right.
So if anyone ever has any issues or anything, all you have to do is talk to us. We're people too.
All you have to do is DM me, because I'm a mod, and I'll be like, Spidey, get this
DM
shit done.
Forbearers. He'll kick my ass into gear. Everyone's here to help you guys.
Speaking of kicking people into gear, Spidey, so I do have some questions for you. Speaking of more transparency, right? So, what do you, as the pretty much the main admin, right, server owner, what do you think is the overall goal of the server?
So, just one thing I want to say real quick. I'm like the server owner technically and everything, but we do treat all admins equally, and all the other admins have just as much say as I do. I don't want to like give the impression that I'm like, running everything behind the scenes myself or anything, because I'm not. Right? We have a team. But that being said, the goal of the server has never really changed, in my opinion. Like, the goal has always been the same. We've just expanded to incorporate some other elements too, mostly in a community aspect, right? So at the inception of the server, the goal was always to help people grow as players and help them climb in ranked, basically, and learn the game more. And at the end of the day, OWP is all about education, right? But even more than that, as time has gone on, I think it's become, at least for me, more about community as well, right? The community is the heart of the organization. Like, Pugs, anime, even the Minecraft server, just all the connections everyone makes. That's what makes OWP, and that's what makes OWP special. And so, despite the goal, in my opinion, never changing, we want to help people climb. We've added things like the Anime Party and all these other channels, just to help people build more of a community here.
Where and when can we find these anime watch parties, Spidey?
These anime watch parties can be had at Wednesdays, typically at 11 p.m. EST. They are a blast, and I recommend you come by. And also, check out Pugs. Pugs are also super duper fun.
It's a better experience. I'm just calling it right now.
Oh, I mean, if you want to
I don't know about that one, but they are a great experience, and they're a great way to get your name out there. Like Sid said, everybody's always watching Pugs. If you play Pugs, people will know you. People will want you on their team if you're, a good teammate, right? PMA is always appreciated, but it's a great way to get your name out there.
Right. So. And there's some questions actually coming from Twitch real quick. How much money have you spent on Overwatch Pretenders this far?
That's classified. That's classified. That's classified.
Is it classified?
Don't put that on a public platform, Spidey.
Yeah, no, you don't want to do that. I'm just putting you in a hot seat.
I've spent a fair amount. I'll just say that much. The reason I don't really talk about that too much is because I don't want that to become a focus, and I'm not trying to say like I don't want people to like start sending money or what have you or anything. Like, I don't promote any of that because
but we do have a sub button. I just want to know.
Well, that's the thing, right? Like, we didn't even announce that. We just put that out there because at the end of the day, I want OWP to be free and accessible to everyone possible, because that's like our mission statement, right? Help everyone we can, and we don't expect anything in return. We just want people to have a good time. So
speaking of having more accessibility, I think the biggest, so a lot of the issues that are coming up as far as frustration with the mods and the admins has come from a lot of the barriers to entry in the league. As it stands right now, there's only how many teams are there? 10 teams in the upper division?
I believe 9 teams. Yeah.
9 teams, right? There's 9 teams, right? Theoretically, you only have a certain number of players that can be in a team, right? Like, what is it, like 108 possible players that can be included in a team in a server that has at its peak at 1,000, players.
It has 1,100 now, yeah.
Right. What, what do you think would alleviate that problem of, barrier to entry? Because I mean, a lot of the issues that I'm seeing and I'm hearing is that it's so difficult to get into a team, and it's so difficult to actually compete in the league.
Are you basically saying allow pre-mades? Like, because I have a feeling that's what you're getting at, and that's what another person in the confession box said, that you need to be able to allow pre-mades. Only then can Overwatch Pretenders really grow, and if not that, then what can we do to, engage groups of people that are coming in? Like, maybe we could hold more Ascenders Cup a year, but I did want to run that by you.
Yeah, so that's a super fair question. What I'll say to that is, when it was formed, OWP was a place for people that didn't have teams, they didn't have a place to go. It was for people that had no idea how to get into any sort of competitive scene, right? And we've kind of stuck by that since then. It's been primarily for free agents, people that just have nothing, right? We want to give those wayward souls a home.
We want to dock them.
Yeah, exactly. But the people that, like, they're already on a team or what have you, typically they have some sort of structure of their own. They have like their own coaches or what have you, and so they're already kind of in a better spot. And maybe that's changed recently, right? Like, as OWP has grown.
Definitely, Spidey, it definitely has changed. The reason I'm bringing this up is because, they're, as far as you, saying that the OWP has turned into more of a community than a league, I 100% completely agree with you that it has turned into a phenomenal community. Honksy was telling me, actually having a conversation with him earlier, that, we've been to other competitive leagues, and, as far as the community here in OWP, it's the most welcoming, and it's the most, it's charming, and it's, it's welcoming, right?
And that's super important to me, and that means a lot to me.
So, right. The flip side, however, is that there's only 108 possible players that can be involved in the pretty much the main event of the teams or of the league.
Well, caveat: 108 players at a time. It's very possible for like someone to drop a team and them to pick up like a free agent mid-season, and 100%.
Then that's a little bit of a semantic issue. But the thing that I'm driving at is that the teams themselves. Some teams are so old that
that they only have like 2 spots to give up, right? Versus there are teams that have like there's being remade.
But not even that.
Day in, day,
they're
right?
So tightly knit that they're not gonna drop somebody just because
they had a bad day or whatever. Yeah,
they had a bad day, right? They've become friends, and a lot of the big concern, and the point that I'm trying to make, and the big concern is that a lot of players have actually just been on a team just to be friends with the players that they are in the team with, right? Which is dope from a community standpoint, but from a developmental league, they're as like you said, when you dropped out of when you left Mercury Cougars, they're taking up a spot, right? They're taking up a spot of somebody potentially wanting to compete. When there are some players that are staying in teams that don't even play comp, they don't even pug, they don't put in any time playing Overwatch, and yet they are in a upper league division team.
Yeah,
right?
That's a totally fair criticism, and I think that's something that, like, to an extent though, like, I can't really say that has any part of staff. Like, I don't think that's our place to say. To we never want to be micromanaging our teams. We want to give them freedom, like Ultrawave and everything, right? You guys really enjoyed your freedoms of being a player-run team,
right?
And we want to leave that with our teams. But that being said, we're not completely opposed to the idea of pre-mates. The reason we haven't allowed them yet is because we want to maintain the quality of the league that we've had so far, and to do that, we can't just open it up randomly one season. We have to have our systems in place, and we have to be able to make sure that things are going to go smoothly. Right. So that's something that we're going to be working on actually, like, throughout this season. We're going to be preparing for next season, possibly opening it up. to pre-mades and how we would incorporate them.
Steps towards opening
up.
Oh yeah,
that's something that's been actively discussed since like season 2, probably, I would say. And this season it's going to be a primary focus of staff for sure.
Right.
And we are going to be doing things like running more Senders Cups and what have you, giving more ways to get teams that aren't necessarily in the league, ways to get involved in the community.
Well, because the last thing that I wanted to like add to that is that, you know, speaking as from what you said earlier as well, being a voluntary staff, you know, I think that bringing in or letting the pre-made teams in and not limiting the amount of teams that can compete in the league, I think will bring about a lot less workload for the voluntary staff, right? Because right now we have a very, very controlled environment, and I don't think it works for a small community like 200, 300 players. But since, you know, it's a thousand players, maybe 400 and 500 people active, right? You know, I think it'll bring about a lot more people into the server. But I also think that it'll diminish the workload that the voluntary staff have to do.
Yeah.
Right.
I think that has some truth to an extent, right? Because it at the end of the day, it still will be more teams and will be more coordination and everything. But, you know, I totally see your point, and, you know, I agree with it, really. And we're going to, like I said, it's something that we're going to be heavily discussing. It is going to be a primary focus of this upcoming season. Since we've had all these seasons to refine how we want to run things and everything, we've become much more efficient with it. So we can focus on other things now, like expanding the pre-mades or what have you.
I wanted to ask, what have been some of the craziest suggestions you've received as part of server, like that people just, I think we should, you know, like what have been some of the craziest things that you've heard?
There's been a lot of really interesting things over the years now, I can say. You know, congrats. Side note, happy birthday to OWP. You know, we've been going for over a year now. I think that's pretty incredible. Yeah, we've had a lot of crazy things like getting rid of.
Hold on, one second. Speaking of OWP birthdays, in 2 days I celebrate the day that I joined the server.
That's
last year.
Man.
Oh damn!
Happy early OWP birthday.
This is your real birthday. Like fuck your real birthday. This is your real birthday.
This is my real birthday.
Yeah.
Anyways,
but
what were you saying, Sven?
Yeah.
I was just saying, like, we've had things like, you know, get rid of any sort of SR averaging system or like requirements or whatever, period. You know, like let the GMs and the bronzes fight one another, duke it out, you know, what have you. We've had things like, you know, completely restructuring from a league to like different sort of tournament styles and everything, which is kind of like totally not, you know, what makes OWP special is the league format, in my opinion.
Right. And there was actually someone confused in Twitch. What is the league format?
League format? Okay, so, you know, a lot of tournaments are, it's very similar to your tournament, but it's basically mini Overwatch League, right? It's Overwatch League for people that are, you know, bronze to diamond, basically. It's run exactly like a league. Right now we have a round robin structure where every team plays every other team. We follow standings, you know, with map differential, head-to-head wins and losses and everything. And at the end of the season, we'll have semi-playoffs and then playoffs and everything.
Right.
We have like an all-star game. We have a lot of things that are very indicative of it being like a league, right?
Right.
It's similar to a tournament, but I think it has more of a community focus because of that league aspect, right?
Right. And of course, playoffs are just the top 6 by standing. Is that right? By win-loss, then map differential, then tie break, right?
Yeah.
Okay, right.
It's basically
That's the granularity.
we're going. Yeah, it's map differential, or sorry, wins-loss first, then map differential, and in cases where both of those are tied,
Mercury Cougars and Lightbringers.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah, we had that a couple seasons ago, right? They were tied in win-loss and map differential, but Lightbringers happened to beat Mercury Cougars, so they moved on.
Yeah. And we also have an academy division with a very similar format. And
yeah, same thing. Lower SR range, right?
Same thing, lower SR range. We want to expand it a little bit. And yeah, just get involved if you're not part of the Discord server. If you are, you already know what's going on. And Spidey, I have no other questions for you. So instead, what I'm gonna do is we're just gonna go through confessions in the confession box all together. Does that sound good?
All right, let's do it.
All right, let's do this. Okay, time to finally crack open the confession box. I'm not gonna show this on stream because there was one guy that spoiled Endgame in the confession box. There was one person who spoiled Endgame.
All right. PM. Oh, it's anonymous. God damn it.
It's anonymous.
I hit him with the ban hammer.
Whoever spoiled Endgame, please let me know. I'd love to talk about it with you.
It was Endo. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, we're just gonna have just a small chat.
We're just gonna have a small chat. All right. Sent at 8:51 when your co-host thinks he's the best Zen Ana in the league. Omega lol. Thank you, Sid. OWP is on the decline and needs to consider allowing pre-made teams for both upper and lower division. All right, we can talk about that, but we already kind of did. Forebears is the cutest OWP staff member, no cap. You're right.
Gotta agree.
Get to the actual ones, please.
Okay, fine. I mean, honestly, a lot of these are memes. It's like Sunny's a feeder. Leon's my daddy. I'm scum to this community. Those are all three separate ones.
Jesus.
Adondi is the best Doom in OWP. I don't know that.
That's the strangest case of weirdos in OWP.
Yeah.
Homeboy tried to smurf 3 times.
Yeah, that was
with different accounts and different IPs. It's insane.
It was pretty rough.
Suia will be the champions. Non-biased opinion from a spectator. We'll see, right? I mean,
we'll see,
right?
I look forward to that being proven right or wrong.
Let's see. Shout out to Seven Sins. I love you. I'm sure Seven Sins loves you too. Leon's an amazing coach, and sadly, I'll miss being coached. From Waldo or Shisui. And I'm only mentioning names if you sign with the name. Just want to put that out there, right? I'm secretly a Lucio main in comp. I use aimbot. Winky face. All right. I mean, we're against cheaters. Please don't. 05 heads. 05 heads are actually the dark horse team of OWP. Spidey, agree or disagree? Like Sid and I are both on the dark horse case.
I think most people. Yeah, no. I think most people are sleeping on them. I think they're gonna come in hot for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm stuck in Brig jail. Please help me get out. You're asking the wrong Spidey, dude. Let's see. We really need the Overwatch Pretenders Twitter to be used more. Also, wouldn't hurt to organize the Twitch and YouTube to show all the previous matches and show the winner. That's a pet peeve of mine. We're trying our best as part of production team to definitely like.
I haven't been, to be honest.
All right. Well, I have. Okay. Spidey and I. That's what I say when we say we. Please. We've really been trying our best to stream and record and cast every games. As always, if you're interested in casting, flexing those casting muscles, doing what people like Sid, people like me do, very very often, and always be a bigger part of the community in that way, as well as just help out in terms of just being the streamer for that game and being the host of that game. And
we need more streamers.
And the streamers are able to see 100% the backbone of the production team.
Right.
And we're always looking for more. So if you want your games to be streamed, the best way to do that is to help stream yourself.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah. And of course, like casters always help out in stream. Streamers can always, flex their muscles at casting, and it's a fun time over in production. So if you're interested, hey,
to answer your question, Aaronsaurus, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly. Yes, you 100% can cast and stream while being on a team.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah.
Pig Dog and Ronan.
Oh my goodness.
The best duo.
That's such a good. I love listening to.
Oh my gosh.
That was the best game to do it in because it was Mercury Cougars versus Alpine Wolves, so a marquee, like a title match, pretty much.
Yeah. Right? That's a legendary. Like you can't ask.
Right.
Like for
the memes born out of that casting duo is legendary at this point.
Oh, it's incredible. Other confessions include Solus's best admin, mod, staff of OWP server, and mom for 7 sins that we could ever have. Glad to be working with her. Honestly, 100% true.
True facts.
Solus is easily top 5 people in OWP.
No Solus is my role model as far as
am I? Where do I rank?
No, hell no.
Okay.
No, Forebears.
Forebears, you're one of my anime gurus. Okay, I look up
Oh
to
my
you
goodness.
in that respect. So.
Speaking of that, there's one person that says, "Why go to Pugs when you can have quality anime watching every Wednesday?" Oh my goodness, this is actually not.
You can do both. You can
do both. Yes, listen.
Here's the thing.
I will
we have
toot
Pugs
your
every day.
anime. Yeah. Pugs every day. Weeb Wednesdays. Okay, we only need one day out of the week. Okay.
Weeb Wednesdays.
Go to Pugs the other
hump
days.
day, I get that.
100%. We want more Pugs.
Another person said, "I get it. To most, this can seem like a joke, but thank you all for being one of the best servers I've ever been a part of since my OW career. I hope everyone is okay, and if you ever need to talk, you are free to talk to me. L.L.L. Whoever is that? Probably Lightbringer's Legacy.
Sweet.
Probably
That's the
Lightbringer's
shit
Leftover.
I like. That's what I think makes OWP special. I want everyone to feel like, we're a family for one another
Right.
at the end of the day. Right.
Someone.
But what about competition, Spidey?
We want that. Hey, listen. I mean, have you ever had any siblings?
Yes.
Right? Are you competitive with them?
Yeah.
There you go.
Sid,
Yeah, but I hate him.
So
It's a love hate,
someone responded to your copy pasta in confession chat. They said give or take about one graphics card.
That was the most unfortunate.
So for those of you who don't know what happened, Sid's graphics card died right before.
No, it was not mine. It was not mine.
Sorry,
it was Ronin.
I'm getting confused
that's a
with the
noob.
Truck Buddies situation. Fun fact: Sid was also on Truck Buddies, who was the Ascenders champions of last.
Who is
Ascenders,
the reigning champion?
The reigning champion of Ascenders, managed by me, by yours truly.
Unfortunate graphics cards.
And
gave
then
them...
Sid's graphics card
Blew up
died
after
at the
we
last
won.
moment. Yep, just immediately after we won. Yeah.
Immediately after we won, literally I have an open air case. It literally started coming on fire.
Listen, when you're too good at the game and your computer can't handle it,
Right.
I mean, best
Tends to
on the Zen in
happen.
the league. You know what I'm saying?
Honestly, it's almost like someone's heart giving out as soon as they ran a marathon, right? Because Ascenders, it's a whole day thing, right?
Dude, I'm telling you, man. Like that, dude. When Ronin started telling us 4 hours before our match against, oh my gosh, dude, like.
Sid's
against
having
Alpine
trauma right
Wolves.
now.
Amazon Prime now, man. 2-hour delivery. You just gotta buy a graphics card.
Spidey, trust me. I was like, yo, I will spend the money to get you the goddamn graphics card right now. I don't care. We need to win, right? If you were in our chat, like.
I can imagine.
All 6 of us.
knowing you and Ultrawave, I can
goodness.
only imagine.
That would have been wild,
like.
yeah.
We were pretty much troubleshooting and trying to figure out like shipping and like the fastest way to get him back on his feet.
Right.
Sid's sitting there like, listen, if I do 85 miles an hour on average, okay, I've got like 300 miles on the tank. Okay,
like he's doing the math. There's like a chalkboard of equations behind him.
You
Yeah, dude,
guys
it's that
joke, but
math
I literally
thing,
had the whiteboard right next
Show
to
the
me.
whiteboard. I don't care what's on it. Show the whiteboard. Show it.
I don't want to move there's passwords on this stuff. But
Show it.
like there was literally like calculations on like, all right, if I send this money, then he can buy this, or I can use my Best Buy discount and like have him pick up the graphics card at a nearby store.
Oh my goodness. This man was willing to put down actual money for a 1080 Ti.
Hell yeah, dude. I was not a 1080 Ti, Jesus Christ. But definitely I was like, because it was
At least a 640. I mean,
At least a 640, right? Get that mid-range.
I was trying to get him a 1050 like that day. I was like, yo, like
what a guy.
let's get it, make it happen, dude, because we need to compete. Because we had a bone to pick with Alpine Wolves the last time we went up against them. We got beat 3-1 because Adam X decided to not show up.
you know what you guys got to do, right? You got to get a show match.
You guys gotta get a show
We
match.
tried, but
Alpine Wolves disbanded, unfortunately, right?
F's in chat.
We'll always remember them.
They left a legacy.
You know
As
who?
did Ultrawave.
You know who won? Who wants one show match that might be possible is Mercury Cougars.
Mercury Cougars? Hey,
Mercury Cougars are always looking for a show match.
Right, basically.
Because they want that clap back after what we did to them. You know what I'm saying?
I'm gonna finish
Let's get
up.
it done.
I'm gonna finish up these confessions real quick. If Ultrawave was the best team OWP could produce, why did some players not make it to Masters? And then before you answer that, Sunny's oh, sorry, go ahead.
Because some players on our team are better than some. Ronin is a grinder, dude. Like
I thought you were gonna say a
games...
thrower, and I'm like, oh god.
No. There's no throwers on our team other than Adam X throwing our Alpine Wolves game.
Yikes, dude! Out with the it's call out day.
He legitimately, we were dependent on him.
Said, I get you.
Okay.
I get you.
But the real answer to that question is that the graduates from Ultrawave didn't graduate until after the season. Ronin graduated within the last week of the season. Sweets didn't graduate until after.
All right, fair enough. Sunny is a feeder. Vivex is boosted. Stab Moose. Seven Sins Academy has the best lower division DPS. I already miss ramen.
Oh, speaking of up and coming players, Vivex is somebody to watch from the lower league.
Yeah. I can definitely agree with that. We're going to be taking a deep dive into the lower league once their schedule gets a little more ironed out, which is why this cast might have been a little lower league sparse. Yeah, what's the ETA on that?
We're looking to get a date locked in like within this week, basically. Not it's starting this week, obviously, right?
Right.
We're looking to get everything locked in. As you guys are probably aware, or at least I would hope so, we have 2 new teams, right? The Mercury Cubs and Unknown Academy. And so staff has been working behind the scenes to kind of help them work out the kinks and everything, right? Because with any new team, there's always a couple speed bumps that you never anticipate. So we're just working to help them smooth those out, and then we'll be diving right into the lower league.
Yeah, so that's going to be something to definitely watch out for. Once again, Spidey, thanks so much for being here. I really appreciate it.
And thanks, Spidey,
for having me.
And
next
you know
time
what?
I'll have a webcam.
You know what? You're actually going to help us. You're going to help us do the outro here. Be sure to check out the week 1 games. Once again, that's Mercury Cougars versus Suia. I am totally forgetting the other ones. Why am I blinking? Skyhounds versus 05 Heads. Night Ops versus Lightbringers Leftovers. Breakthrough versus Seven Sins Action News Team. Taking a quick bye week. Lower division schedule coming soon. Check out Overwatch Pretenders over on the YouTube, the Discord, the Twitch. I mean, you're already here if you're here on the Twitch, right? But check us out anyway.
Follow our Twitter, right? OW Pretenders.
At OWP Pretenders.
Right.
OW Pretenders.
And Spidey, just any last plugs you have, now's the good time to do it. Hit us with it.
I just want to give a quick shout out to everybody in staff. Our little family that we've been just building since season 0 and everything there. I appreciate and love all you guys. You guys are all the unsung heroes of OWP. I know how difficult things can be, obviously, and I just appreciate and love all of you guys. You guys do amazing work. So
I love y'all too. That's for sure. And just the last thing I gotta ask, hey Spidey, who's your PFP? Asking for a friend.
My PFP is the one and only one of the too many best girls of Steins Gate, Ruka Urushibara.
Weebs, get the heck out.
Weebs.
Impossible. Weebs and Overwatch, man, they go hand in hand.
Weebs mobilize. Mobilize.
You know who
on
my
Wednesdays.
profile picture is? It's me.
Best girl opposite, confirmed.
Best girl opposite. If Overwatch was a harem anime, opposite's true route.
By the way, how's that VN coming along?
Oh my goodness!
VN?
For those of you who don't know, I was trying to make an Overwatch Pretenders visual novel, and it's not canceled just yet. It's in.
So it's imminent.
It's imminent. No. We're gonna make it happen. Okay.
Oh my goodness.
We're gonna make it happen.
Oh my goodness. It was.
I'm willing to throw money at it.
Oh my. Spidey's already thrown money at it. You don't even know what's going on. In any case, hey, everyone here, thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate it. My name's been Forebears. I've been your caster. I've been your host. Joined here by Opposite. Opposite, thanks so much for making yourself available. On such a short notice. Really, truly.
Of course, I am heavily strung out on drugs.
Once again, this is Spidey, the admin of the server, not the admin of the server. And Sid, just before we head out, I see your PS4 tats. What are some of the best games to play right now?
Some of the best games to play right now? Overwatch. You should play nothing else.
You heard
play
it.
Pugs. Come to Pugs.
You gotta respect the man's dedication.
I was hoping for some solid PS4 exclusives, but I guess not.
No. I haven't turned on my PlayStation in a year.
Can I have it?
No.
Oh.
I have the PlayStation buttons on my own. Why am I going to give it to you?
I mean, I thought I'd ask. I want to
show
play
up
some.
to Pugs. Everybody that's still watching, I bet you everybody's tuned out already, but everybody's still watching. Go to Pugs, 12 a.m. Midnight Pugs. Add pack
You heard
cheese.
it here first. If you show up to Pugs enough, Opsid might give you a PS4.
That's it.
You know what? Here's the thing. I'm at the point where if we get Pugs to happen regularly, like, I might shell out some cash for some loot box like prizes. You know what I'm saying?
Some
Get in there, guys.
Some loot box prizes. A dog is gonna enter my room, so I'm going to sign off. Thanks so much for being here, and we'll see you next time.
Thanks for having me.